Monsters have existed within the human mind for as long as we can remember, and they are often brought to life through myth, legend, and story. One name has starred above all the others, and yes guys, I'm talking about the legendary king of monsters, Godzilla. Godzilla got his start all the way back in the year of 1959 with the original film Gojira. This film was not only a hit in its homeland Japan, but a hit on a global level. This success led the giant lizard to become a global icon and of course spawned one of the longest ongoing film series of all time. A Godzilla movie would be incomplete without an enemy for him to face, and these 10 big baddies are some of the best foes Godzilla had gone toe-to-toe with. Before we start our list, please like and subscribe to this new channel of ours. Number 10. King Kong. Although Kong Skull Island welcomed Kong into the kaiju universe of today's Godzilla, it isn't the first time. These two iconic creatures have battled it out before and it was just plain terrible. Which is unfortunate because Kong is actually one of the best monsters ever put to film. He has conquered his terrifying island, which is full of a variety of vicious prehistoric creatures. Kong's story is thematically neat, and being an ape, he's more personable than most monsters. He was more villainous in the original film, but has since become a sympathetic character. So despite a disappointing history, we look forward to seeing two of our favorite monsters share the big screen with today's technology. Number 9. Biollante. Biollante is a villain of Godzilla that was born from his DNA. She is a genetically modified rose kaiju that first appeared in the 1989 Godzilla film, appropriately named Godzilla vs. Biollante. She started off simply as a giant mutated rose with a set of jaws inside her bud and her tendrils, as well as long vines. Merely a heavily mutated and exponentially large semi-sentient rose. She also had a large, fleshy sac surrounded by her overlaying vines. Once her Godzilla cells took over, she took a more kaiju-like appearance. Biollante is one of Godzilla's largest enemies faced throughout history and is the largest one faced during the Heisei era. Despite her large size, she is highly mobile. She also can spit a deadly corrosive sap from her mouth. Number 8. Muto Prime. Muto Prime is a titan that appears in the 2019 legendary comics graphic novel Godzilla Aftershock, the parent subspecies of two Mutos which fought Godzilla in San Francisco. Muto Prime emerged shortly after their death to draw out Godzilla. It has the same basic body shape and appearance as its offspring. However, it is considerably larger and possesses a hardened outer shell along with razor-sharp back spines. The legs are gigantic and muscular, and as are its forelimbs, which it uses to knuckle walk. Their skin is primarily smooth and black, save for its forelimbs, which are mostly covered in orange scales. Muto Prime aimed to infect Godzilla with its parasitic larvae, potentially giving rise to an entire ecosystem of Mutos which could wipe out the human race. Fortunately, through the intervention of Monarch's Dr. Emma Russell, Godzilla was able to triumph over Muto Prime in the last encounter and killed it once and for all. Number 7. Mothra. Perhaps the most popular of all the kaiju, except for Godzilla of course, and by far the most beautiful of them all. Mothra has been adored by many since her first movie in 1961. Mothra is a bit of a sweetheart, often on humanity's side, and she saved the planet on multiple occasions. She also has extremely powerful psychic abilities which have helped her have the single greatest success rate in battle against the big guy. Not bad for a fluffy, brightly colored moth. Number 6. Gigan. Gigan is a cyborg space monster sporting a circular saw weapon located in its frontal abdominal region. Large steel hooks for hands with smaller ones for toes. Spikes running down its tail. 3 large fin-like spines on his back and a red cybernetic visor for an eye. It is a frequent foe of the alpha predator and occasionally ally of King Ghidorah. It teamed up with King Ghidorah for a 2-on-2 showdown with Godzilla and Anguirus in his first movie, Godzilla vs. Gigan, in 1972. Alongside Megalon, he battled Godzilla and Jet Jaguar in 1973's Godzilla vs. Megalon. Gigan's third and final film appearance came in Godzilla Final Wars in 2004, where he received a powerful cyborg-like update. Number 5. Mecha Godzilla. Mecha Godzilla has taken on many different designs, but he is always one of two things: either a deadly robot controlled by aliens or a super machine constructed by Japan to combat the king of the monsters. Mecha Godzilla is the evil robotic mirror image of Godzilla himself. Pretty cool so far, but to make things even better, it is absolutely armed to the teeth. It can shoot a laser beam from its eyes and chest, and it can fire missiles from pretty much every part of his body, even its toes. Number 4. Space Godzilla. In 1994, Godzilla faced off against a practically unbeatable clone of himself. Space Godzilla was born from Godzilla DNA transported to space by either Mothra or Biollante, and the exploding of stars caused even more mutations in the cells than what the original Godzilla experienced on Earth with mere primitive nuclear weapons. Space Godzilla was similar to the Big G, only much larger. He was composed of powerful crystals that could detach from his body and fuse together on the ground, giving him impressive telekinetic power strong enough to throw Godzilla great distances. Godzilla was only able to defeat him with the help of Gojira, an advanced robot built by Japan. On top of that, Godzilla fought harder and dirtier than ever in an attempt to save his son from the clutches of the terrifying space entity. Number 3. Monsta X. The last and most powerful of the zillions legion of monsters, Monsta X arrived on Earth concealed inside the Gorath asteroid. Godzilla destroyed Gorath with his atomic breath in the skies over Tokyo, annihilating the city. Monsta X is also the only monster Godzilla fought in Godzilla Final Wars that survived getting blasted by Godzilla's atomic breath at point blank in the face, actually appearing to shrug the attack off, as well as the only one able to bring Godzilla to his knees and make him roar out in pain with just one attack. Monsta X was briefly joined by Gigan, but Mothra soon arrived and sacrificed herself to destroy Gigan, leaving only Monsta X and Godzilla. When the Zillion mothership self-destructed, Monsta X transformed into the immensely powerful Kaiser Ghidorah, which nearly killed Godzilla before the Gotengo intervened and gave Godzilla a surge of energy that allowed him to triumph over his extraterrestrial. Number 2. Destroyer. Created by the oxygen destroyer that killed the first Godzilla in 1954, Destroyer is the Grim Reaper of the Godzilla series. It resembles a dragon thanks to his Godzilla-like appearance and giant wings. It is often considered one of Godzilla's most merciless and evil foes, along with the Showa King Ghidorah and Space Godzilla. Unlike monsters that kill and destroy unintentionally and act only out of instinct or under mind control, Destroyer seems fully aware of the death and destruction he causes and takes pleasure in causing it. Appearing around the same time that Godzilla was dying, it threatened to end the human race with his army of crab-like minions. He is the kaiju who finally manages to kill Godzilla once and for all in his sole cameo in 1995 movie Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Number 1. King Ghidorah. Like the Joker, King Ghidorah has a variety of origin stories. Although Ghidorah's design is simply that of a three-headed dragon-like rodent, it was partially inspired by Greek mythology. This made Ghidorah's design more elaborate and threatening than the earthly influences of other kaiju. Also, its abilities are both iconic and countless. He can definitely fly and always breathes gravity beams. but he's also been known to defy physics, generate winds with the force of a hurricane, regenerate his body, and sap energy from his enemies. Ghidorah is easily one of the most ruthless, powerful force to ever oppose Godzilla, and that reputation continues in the Monsterverse. While the 2017 Godzilla anime film trilogy did spawn one of the strongest incarnations of the King of Monsters, to combat such a strong hero, the creators of this version of Godzilla needed to create a foe strong enough to stand up to it. The entity to step up to that role was none other than King Ghidorah. This version of Ghidorah is a creature that inhabits the void between dimensions. For years, it has used its supergravity to consume worlds. It can travel through dimensions, distort space and time, and has its iconic electrical powers. Thanks for watching, guys. Do support us by hitting like and subscribe, and do let us know your thoughts in the comment section.